twice last night. Okay, a little bit about Monica, ladies and gentlemen. Monica is a fun, faith filled health coach whose work centers on living younger, longer, a holistic approach, a holistic approach to health for Christian women. Her vision is to inspire women to achieve vibrant health and live impactful, service driven lives without letting age define who they are or what they're capable of. Through nutrition, movement, and sustainable lifestyle rhythms, Monica helps women grow more assertive, more confident, and energized for the work God is calling you to do. Having walked through personal hardships herself, she is passionate about encouraging women to trust God through difficult seasons and believe it's never too late to thrive in body, in mind, and in spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Monica Marrone. Welcome to the platform, Monica.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here today.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Monica, I want to start off by asking you, how did you own how did your own life experiences, the experiences that you've gone through in your life, shape the calling that you're walking in? That's my question.
Yeah, there were really two life events that many of us have been through, but had a particular impact on my life. The first was my marriage. I've been married to my husband Derek for 42 years, and the second was the birth of my first and only child, my son, who's now 28 years old. So Derek and I were madly in love. Uh, but after our marriage, life became quite a bit of a storm. And over the last 42 years, we've come to realize that Derek has a bipolar disorder. He suffered from various addictions through different periods during our marriage and depression. And so there were like two chapters of a lot of turmoil and chaos in our marriage. The first one was the first like 5 to 7 years of our marriage, and then again later after my son was born. And there were many people in my life early during that first dark chapter that encouraged me to get divorced because it seemed that there was no hope for our relationship, no hope for Derek turning around his life. And there was something in my heart and my belief that God had blessed our union that prevented me from abandoning the marriage. And there were times when I would choose to live alone in order to protect my space, um, and be able to function in my job and not be, tied into the addictive cycle that Derek was in at that time. But I never felt compelled to get divorced. And um, Derek was able to get help and turn his life around and had a period of stability and sobriety, and uh, and then God blessed us with a boy. I
Oh,
was
wow.
39 years old when David was born, and I often reflect on what my life would be like today if I had followed all that advice that people said to give up. And so I try to use that to inspire other women. I mean, sometimes you need to make a dramatic change in your life, but sometimes even when something seems hopeless, you have to follow what's in your heart versus maybe the advice that people are throwing at you from other places. And then David's birth was the birth of my desire to do whatever I could to improve my health. And I was 39, and I quickly realized I was about 10 years older than a lot of the moms. And I deeply wanted to be active and be able to do fun stuff with David as he grew up. And so I became very diligent about pursuing better health and how do I stay active so I could just be a great mom and be doing stuff with David. And that pursuit of health and wellness has really led me to become the health coach and to work with other women to help them achieve
Okay, so then
vital
my
health.
question, so my next question is, I understand, and I was very interesting, and it's amazing what interviews do for us. Interviews allow us to get to know more about the people that we are actually engaging with, spending time with on these virtual platforms, because we don't get to go to lunch together, we don't get to hang out together. And the only way we get to know each other is just by what we see, or what we hear. And on the platforms, when we're attending events or coaching programs or things of that nature, we don't really get to get the whole background. And it's interesting to hear your story because I would never have known that you had such challenges that you had to overcome, and certainly wouldn't have known or known about the resilience that you have experienced or you have exercised doing those challenges. And it seems to me that you took those negatives and you turned them into a positive. And
Yeah.
that is what it's all about. And with that, that leads me to ask you another question. So I hear that you've gone through challenges and in your marriage, and I hear you superseded those challenges in your family. But what inspired you to focus on helping Christian women improve their health? Why Christian women?
So when I went through the health coach program, I realized that I, was soaking up a lot of the information that I was learning, but there was something about sort of their philosophical approach that rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. And I feel like so much of the rhetoric in health and wellness arenas is about self-care and self-love, but in my mind, it borders on self-obsession. And so I want to rewrite that rhetoric and provide uh, a space for Christian women where they can work on taking care of ourselves. I believe that we need to take care of ourselves, but from a Christian and God-centered way, that this is the vessel that God has given us while we're here in this realm on earth. So yes, we should take care of it, but not so that the focus is not inwardly like, oh, I'm great, I'm great. The focus is I want to find my vibrant self so I can go out and serve other people. So the focus becomes finding your healthiest self so you can fulfill your vocation in life, be active for your family, for your community. So the focus is turns out to be of service to others versus being obsessed with yourself.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. And I love service, and that's what service is all about, serving other people. And I also believe that the challenges that we face, which we don't may not understand why we're going through those challenges, when we're going through them, we don't know the purpose or the benefits that will come after we have achieved the success that we obtain from going through. We get that later. We get that later. But that's one beautiful thing about going through what we're going through. It allows us to help somebody else to go through who experiencing the same things, similar things to what we had to experience ourselves. And that to me is what I call a defining moment. Because sometimes, honey, when I'm going through stuff, I don't think I deserve it. I question God. But then when I come to my senses and get my eyes off of me and put them truly on God, I'm like, okay, God, you up to something. You up to something. So I know you got a purpose for this, and I'm going to go through it. And forgive me for not going through, quietly or gracefully. So when we go through what we go through, it is definitely, definitely about serving others so that we too can show them that there's another way to get through whatever the challenge is. And there's a definitely what we call there's a light at the end of the tunnel. you know. And so having said that, I know your motto is be more, make more, and give more. So for our listening audience, what does that mean in daily, everyday life? And how does health play a role in living that out? Be more, make more, and give more. Lay it on me.
Okay. This just came to me a few years ago, and sometimes God speaks to you in different ways. And I was at that point where I'm trying to evaluate, Lord, what is it that you want me to be doing? And this little motto came to me. So the be more part is really about becoming the best version of yourself, fully developing the talents that God has given you, always seeking to grow in virtue, seeking to learn new things, and always be on the self-improvement track. So as you become more, you can make more. And that's about, growing my business and increasing my income, but it's also about making more of an impact. It's about being a contribution to other people's lives. And so then that goes into the give more. So if you're living a prosperous life, you are free to give more of your time, your talent, your treasure to others. And I see it as just this cycle that hopefully it's an upward spiraling cycle that just leads back into that be more, make more, give more. And, you know, and the health weaves into it because if we're not healthy enough, we don't have the energy to do all of that work.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I want to say thank you so much for this portion of the interview. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do a little quick commercial. But prior to going into the commercial, do you have an affirmation that you would like to share with our listening audience? An affirmation, something you live by. It could be a scripture, it could be a positive saying, something that you use on a regular basis to remind yourself that you can get through whatever it is you're going through, something of that nature.
I would just cling right now to be not afraid. I've been reading all of the Advent scriptures and over and over again. That's probably the strongest message that's in the Bible over and over and over again. Be not afraid. And fear dominated my life for so many years that it's important for me to remember that God is always there and that He doesn't want me to live in fear. So I'll go with that today.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm going to say that you cannot have success without sacrificing something. How many of you know that networking is the bloodline to your success? I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, visibility strategist, and I am the CEO of Unity in Service. We have been hosting events for 9 years, and we started with live conferences, in-person conferences in Florida. Annually, we would host one big conference. And because social media is our gateway to making connections, we posted our content online and people began to fly from everywhere. And we were very, very, very successful in bringing people together. And then what happened? The pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, we had to shift. We had to pivot. Everybody had to start from ground zero. And we all had to start and learn, how do we work these social media, digital platforms such as Zoom, StreamYard, Restream, and others. Well, I pivoted on a dime. Thanks to my coach, Nancy Matthews. She told all of us in our coaching program, she said, do not lose sight of your vision. All you have to do is pivot. And I took that, ladies and gentlemen, I ran. And I immediately started hosting virtual events online after training myself, learning how to use the system Zoom as well as Eventbrite to bring it all together. And when I discovered how to do that, I have hosted over 40 online events. I have trained entrepreneurs how to host events that pays and make money. And I've also showed entrepreneurs who are accustomed to doing free events, I showed them how to turn those events into money. I want you to bring all your links. Why? Because we network to build relationships, to make connections. Bring your links, and we also want you to bring that warm personality that you have. And most of all, please, whatever you do, come with an intention to participate, because people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And in order for people to get to know you, they need to see your face in this digital landscape. So Unity and Service will send you a customized virtual background to use during our events so that you can look professional, so that we can block out any background distractions that will take from our speakers when they are speaking. And our 7-minute speakers are going to rock your world. So we have several speakers that will be speaking, but all of them will be speaking. They have 7 minutes to tap the platform. So with that, and then of course we're going to definitely have breakout sessions also. So this is where you will get a chance to meet individuals one-on-one. You'll get a chance to walk away with their emails, with their free links, and all of those things that's going to contribute to you building new. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I just wanted to give everybody a little observation about what we do and how we serve at our virtual event. So I just want to say thank you for that, for tuning in and letting us share that little commercial. And now we're going to go right back into our questions. And we have a couple more questions we want to ask you about the services that you provide and how you enhance the lives of those you serve. Can you please explain the living younger, longer approach? And I love that. Living younger, longer. Living younger, longer. That makes a lot of sense, because I know we all want a long life. So can you please explain the living younger, longer approach and how it supports women physically, spiritually, and then I want you to share how it supports women emotionally.
So I'm 67, but I have no intention of slowing down. And I started this healthy living when I was in my 40s. And so I think mentally, I still think of myself like I'm in my 40s. But I really believe that, women can stay active as they age, and that we don't have to let that define, who we are and what we're capable of doing. And a lot of it is how you view the world. And, I often think if we could all embrace that delight that we had in the world around us when we were kids, when you have that approach, um, you can just enjoy the journey so much more.
Right.
And so sometimes I like to do just silly things that you might have done when you were a kid to remind yourself that the world is a beautiful place and there's all kinds of wonderful experiences waiting for you. So maybe you go walk in the grass barefoot or lay down and watch the clouds roll by. And I say I'm leaner and faster and stronger in my 60s than I was in my 40s. And so I'm always challenging myself to learn new things, to get stronger, to experience new experiences, and to do things that, maybe people in their mid 60s are not normally doing. So 2 years ago, I led a group of three other women and myself, and we went and hiked the Grand Canyon. And
Wow.
um, I had done this in my 30s with my husband, and at that time, I had never done anything like that before, and I was terrified. And I didn't really know how to train for the event, and so the first day was pretty horrible. But this time around, because of all of the healthy lifestyle things that I've done over the last 30 years, and because I know how to train for an event and I know how to organize things, I know how to plan for things, it really went very well. And it was just so much fun. We had a woman in her 20s, a woman in her 40s, a woman in her 50s, and me. I was celebrating my 65th birthday. So I just use that as an example that, if you have something that's on your bucket list, on your dream list, and it might feel just a little bit out of reach, that if you do the prep work, if you do the training, there's all kinds of great, wonderful experiences waiting for us no matter what our age is.
That's right.
And so what I do in my health coaching is I try to combine, what I'm learning about the latest science on longevity and combine it with practical tips and a fun approach to healthy living. So I call myself the fun and friendly health coach, not the serious and scary one, because it's important that we get healthy, but we should be able to have fun along the way. And that way people are more motivated to stick with a plan, to actually implement um, changes in their daily habits versus getting overwhelmed or feeling like somebody's trying to push something on them. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand what you're saying. How it, yeah, our energy must stay intact. And like you saying, I don't believe either that we ever get too old to be happy and to enjoy life. And with the spiritual realm of it, I believe that also as God is involved in everything that we do, that everything else flows. And that's why I like this part, when I ask you about the spiritual, how does it assist us spiritually? Because we got to have that connection. And like you said, what you do brings it all together. And it makes us, in my own words, it completes us. And I think that's very important, especially as we age. Talking about me now, as I age, I have to know how to keep the honey, I guess you can say, in my honeymoon. How about
Yeah.
that? And all of that comes from me and the connection that I have with God, my higher power, who I choose to call God. So we're going to get into some of the. So I know you're hosting the event that's coming up, and we've shared it throughout social media, and we certainly hope that people will see the link and tap into it and come and learn a little bit more about you and what you do to serve them. We've sent it out quite a few places, and I want you to expound on that on this platform as well, because we'll be sharing this out as well. And when we share it out, we'll certainly be putting the link to the event in it. And ladies and gentlemen, Monica is giving of herself a free event so that it could allow you to improve your lifestyle physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So I want to say that if you look right at the bottom of her picture, there is Monica Marrone and there is her website address. So you can check out more about Monica on that link as well. But right now, I'm going to ask you this final question, sweetie. And that is, tell us about your new Learner for Life program. That's what I'm talking about. Tell everybody about that new Learner for Life program and the kind of transformation that you have seen in the women that you have served. You got about 5 minutes.
Yeah, so the new program, Leaner for Life, is about getting leaner, not just lighter. So um, it's about becoming stronger as we get older. And my target audience is women over 40, in their 50s, in their 60s. And what happens is that, as our we go through changes in life, generally we tend to start to lose muscle. and slow down our metabolism. And so the program is designed to help women fuel their bodies right so that they're building muscle, they're staying strong, and they have that vibrancy and vitality to serve others. And so there's four pillars in the program, and I'm offering a free workshop on Tuesday evening next week after Christmas, but before New Year's, so we can get going on plans for healthy living for the new year. And we're going to have, it'll be a working session, and we'll do some great activities on the session, including um, assessing how much protein do we really need to fuel our muscles and to build muscle. And then I'm going to give, I've always liked the practical part. So I'm going to then show you how that would look in terms of what you would eat each day to give you a sense of the personalization that comes with this program. So it's not another diet. I think generally people know the basics of things that they're supposed to be doing to living a healthy lifestyle, but having someone that's going to walk you through the program, and it becomes it's a lifestyle program versus a diet program. And the lifestyle becomes your habits, and then it's sustainable. So I want to help women get out of that trap of trying this and trying this and trying this, one fad diet after another. And so this is really meant to be a sustainable, long-term, muscle first program that is going to bring women lasting results. And the cool part is that it's going to actually be personalized to their lifestyle, what kind of food they like to eat, what kind of exercise they like to do. So versus me pushing something out at women, we're going to partner up to develop a program that matches her lifestyle and is sustainable for long term.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so I'm looking forward to joining you at this event next Tuesday. And I think it's at 7 o'clock p.m. If you can tell everybody what time it is.
Yeah, it's 7 Central on Tuesday the 30th.
And 7 Central, that would make it 6 o'clock Eastern time. Am I correct?
No, it's 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Mountain, 5 o'clock Pacific.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, well, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, you have it firsthand from none other than our guest speaker for today, Monica Marrone. And we do hope that you would take advantage of joining us at her upcoming event, and so that we can not only learn about the different proteins and habits and the ways that we need to eat and all this, we can also learn how to stay lean as we mature into our senior years. Oh my goodness, who would ever thought I'd be saying that? But at any rate, yes, because our bodies do change. Our bodies do change, and it's amazing how sometimes I see the changes, and I just say, I can't believe this is happening to me, because I thought I was going to always be that little jackrabbit,
Yeah.
full of energy, but you know what? As we age, we do have to change not just our diet, we have to change our thinking, and we definitely, definitely must maintain our spiritual foundation in order to be all and even more than what God has called us to be. Thank you so much for being with us today, Monica. And I'm going to go ahead and close this session with an affirmation, and that would be: people fail. People fail not because of a lack of desire, but people fall short because of a lack of commitment. I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, visibility strategist